So good afternoon all, and thank you very much for this opportunity to share with you what NOS is doing in terms of voice assistant and how to use this kind of technology to engage elderly people with smart home. Before moving forward, I would like to present a little bit what is the company. So NOS is a telco company, one of the main telco company in Portugal, and we have two types of markets, B2C and B2B market. In this particular presentation, we are focused on B2C market, so how to deliver customized television, broadband and mobile service, customized service to the final customers, so people that are at home. So, and we are trying to understand what are the main issues, the main pains and the needs that our customers have at home. And we try to deliver or sell products that cover this kind of needs. So our proposal is not selling all kind of things, but to provide customized things, let's say, to the customers. So one of the main pillars of this kind of technologies that we have is 5G. So we are deploying now in Portugal this kind of technology, and we're trying to reach several markets, smart cities, computer vision, healthcare, security, and IoT for sure. So this is a huge technology with high impact, not only for the business, but also for the customers. And in terms of, if we look inside of a customer home, we also have advanced technology like Wi-Fi 6. And we also know that people want to be more independent. So we implement some self-installation of our equipments and smart support using AI technology. And then bringing all together Wi-Fi 6 and AI and so on, we are trying to build an IoT ecosystem to engage more and more the customers at home and to provide more customized service. So for example, if we identify that our customers is a gamer, so the needs of this kind of customer is completely different if it is a normal person or family, or for example, if it is a gig. So we're trying to understand this kind of things and provide an IoT personalized system. One thing that we realize in IoT ecosystem is there are several ways how to trigger technology. But the main input or the main source is voice. And we understand this several years ago. And because of that, we define a clear roadmap that we are deploying over and over, okay? And we start with the TV remote control, which integrate a microphone that provide a way to interact with our STV through voice. So it can change the channel, the volume, you can search for contents using voice. And this is very critical for our roadmap and to understand how to improve and what are the needs and the challenge of this kind of technology. Then we progress and we brought this technology from TV remote to a mobile app. So through a mobile app, you can also interact with our STB. So we have this kind of service. So it's the same, the commands are the same. So just to use your mobile phone. So we understand that this ecosystem, voice ecosystem, is very, very important. And then we develop several proof of concepts on top of this kind of technology. And we realize that at this point, we realize that beyond to interact with sensors or device, we would like to also implement this voice assistant with other objectives, for example, plants. So why we cannot use voice to talk with plants. But the problem is plants is a completely different context than the one that we implement, TV, for example. And so we identify a good opportunity to improve our technology, and we design and develop a modular, flexible, and scalable architecture for voice assistants. Well, in fact, it could be text, image, voice, so different input, okay? And we are agnostic to NLP providers, and we can set up several use cases or several contexts. It could be TV, could be router, it could be music, and it could be third parties use case. So we try to design this kind of system that, okay, in the future, we want to implement some use case that was not thought before, but we don't want to change anything in the technology. We just implement the use case. So we're trying to develop this kind of things. And one point that was very important in the voice assistant is the context and the skills that are associated with this kind of context. And one main limitation of the voice assistant is if you are in a certain context and following human brains that are very dynamic. So now we are talking about TV, but in 1 second, then we are talking about wines, for example. Okay, so for us as a humans, this is quite simple, but for technology, this is not simple. And this impact negatively the voice assistants, the performance, and also the experience with this kind of technology. So take this in mind, scalability, modality, agnostic, and a way to change the context without impact negatively the performance of the system and the experience of the user. One of the main components of the architecture that I present is the orchestrator. And this orchestrator has some kind of intelligence, okay, that allow the system understand what is the current context and what is the context that I change now. So this is very important. So this piece in the system will decide, okay, so now we are in the context, okay, the guy changed, so please change this based on some data that we receive in the system, and we learn, we train the model. So we do a lot of things on this component to improve the voice assistant in NOS ecosystem. And this is very important because it allows flexibility, okay, and a way to improve the performance of the system and the user experience. And then on top of this kind of technology, we can develop anything that we want. So, as I said, the main goal on B2C is to create or to build an IoT ecosystem, not only in terms of sensors, light, smart plugs, water plugs, or what else, pumps, or what else, okay? But also we consider our STB as IoT device, for example. But the main point is, okay, sensors, actuators, STBs, and so on is quite standard in IoT ecosystem. So the point was what we can do more, where we can differentiate our IoT system. And this is the point and was the challenge. And we thought, okay, so sensors are standard objects, but if I want to talk with my plants are an object, not a traditional object or a standard object, but it is an object. And so we thought, okay, if we put a sensor in the plant, I can talk with plant because the sensor will give me some parameters about temperature, luminosity, humidity, and so on. And I can care my plants using voice. But the point was, okay, this is a exotic use case, very nice, but what is the target of this type of use case? And then we identify elderly people as the main group of this kind of things for two reasons. One, we know that care plans improve the mental health of the population, of the people, particularly in the elderly people. Okay, if we put this kind of population caring of someone or something else, okay, this will positively impact the mental health. But on the other hand, we know that although this new generation of elderly people knows how to use mobile phone, they have some constraints in using advanced technology like voice assistant. So please ask your parents or grandparents to use a voice assistant. They will be scared. Okay, so the main point here is how we can combine this kind of things. Improve mental health, caring the plants, and using voice technology to interact or talk with plants. So we thought about that. We made some brainstormings and we identified that instead of pushing people using this technology to interact, we tried to use the voice assistant as a teacher about how you can use me, let's say, okay? So the way that we address this challenge was in a button-up approach, using all the ecosystem, NOS ecosystem in terms of voice. And we define 3 use cases that I will present later, from the simplest one to the more complex one. Okay, so we try to engage elderly people with voice technology using our ecosystem. So the first use case was interact with television by voice. Why television? The main reason and the only reason was the main object that elderly people use at home is television. So they use a lot of this kind of entertainment objects, let's say. Okay, so we have voice technology in our STB, so let's put this kind of people using voice through, using television through voice. And we provide some guidance, okay, and we ask the population to do 4 actions: change the channel, change the profile, search for contents, and launch TV apps, only using our NLP system. And this was very nice because they engage, they enjoy the system, and they understand that there is no barrier in using voice assistants to interact with the television. So this is very nice to see this population using the technology. Then we need to make a step forward, and we push for a new use case in a mobile environment. So what we said was, okay, now you know how to use voice system to interact with the television using our remote control. But now we want that you use the same commands to interact with the television, but using our mobile phone, or I'm sorry, using mobile app. And although it seems like a repetition, the fact is there is a different environment. So we push them to use the mobile phone, to click in an app, and to click in a microphone. This is a huge journey for elderly people, but they did, okay? So, and they did the same commands, they interact with the television, with mobile phone, using an app, and they understood that it's quite simple, it's easy to use, and sometimes it's more comfortable than to, where is my TV remote? So I have here my smartphone, so I can interact with my television using mobile phone and using TV. So it was very nice to saw these kind of things. And then we need to, again, make a step forward. So now you know to interact with the television, which is good. So let's put some sensors here, lamps, for example. And based on that, and using the app mode from Google, we teach the population in using a smart home with a simple UI. So we said that, okay, it's not the same commands to interact, but it's this, the process is the same. So if you want to switch on the lights, you just say, switch on the lights, okay? Or switch on my lights. And the guys did this kind of things very well. They understand. And it was a smooth transition from TV to a smart home, let's say. Good. So the first two steps were reached very well. They understood the technology, they understood how to use voice. But remember, the main goal was to talk with plants. And this is the challenge. So we developed two applications, one for mobile and another one for TV. In fact, they should not have many problems because they know now how to use voice to interact with the television, particularly in launch TV apps. And they know how to use voice to interact with the smart home using mobile phone. So the things are there. Now they just need some kind of command to talk with the plants. And that's the way. So we develop a simple app where you can call, hi, my dear garden. And saying this, all your plants are calling, okay? And you have a clear view about the stats of your plant. But the main point here is not having a text information, is to give some emotion to the conversation, is to become this kind of objects, the standard objects or the plants or the sensors that are inside of the plant has humanoids, let's say, not humanoid, because humanoids is quite related to the robots, but let's try to humanize, let's say, this kind of things. And in fact, people talk with the plant and the plant talk with people, okay? With emotion AI, UI, okay? For sure, you have the text information, temperature is 20 degrees, humidity, and so on. But you have an image about it is smile, it is sad, it is happy, it is stressed. Okay, so this is very important because it creates engagement, it creates some socialization between elderly people and plants. So this is very interesting. And all these things using our voice assistant. So they can talk with plants, plants can talk with population or with the elderly people. And at the end, we saw that a quality of life has been improved. So we have the system in trials, and we saw that care the plants talk with plants improve a lot the mental health and quality of life of elderly people. And a second goal is they know now how to use advanced technology. They know that voice is not a barrier. So it is a different way to interact with standard objects, but you can use also voice assistant to talk with your plants in the easiest way, a simplest way, and it increase your life. So this is the main point of this presentation. I will give you a demo about this third use case, just to give you an overview about how it is working. second.
Hey Google, open turntable.
Okay, launching turntable on UMA.
Hey Google, talk to my dear garden.
Okay, getting the test version of My Dear Garden.
Welcome, I'm your turntable assistant. Do you want to know how your plant is? How is my cactus? Hello, I'm feeling healthy. And what about my rose? Hello, I'm thirsty. Can I get some water? And could you dim the lights, please? What about Dracaena? Hi, I'm thirsty. Can you give me some water, please?
So as you can see, you interact, plant talk with you, I can talk with plant. So there is a kind of emotional conversation here because we have voice in the plants, and it's a different way to provide information to the population. And we felt that they enjoy a lot this kind of things. For sure, we have a lot of things to improve. For example, we can use this type of technology to decrease the isolation of the population. For example, I could invite my friends to see my garden, or I would like to interact or to talk with the plants of my friends. So this is the kind of things that we are thinking. It's quite easy to implement. And we think that is very useful, and we feel that we are helping the population, the elderly people, not in terms of mental health, but how to use voice systems and voice technology and engage more and more this population in terms of inclusion, which is very important to the society. So I give you here my contacts. So if you want to know more about the project or this projects, all of you guys, I hope you enjoy these different use cases. So see you next time. Thank you very much.